Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our 9-month Ultimate World Cruise Adventure. And today we're in Busan, South Korea, where I continue my hot dog adventure. We get to try Hotteok, and I use the George W. Bush toilet.
You did. Welcome to Living Phase 2.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Nancy, and we're empty nesters striving to live life to the fullest.
And we're living that full life aboard Royal Caribbean's 9-month Ultimate World Cruise on Serenade of the Seas.
We sure are. Well, friends, today we are in Busan, South Korea, and we have a nice tour planned as our ship came up to the dock and ported. It was a very nice terminal, easy to get around in.
Right. It wasn't one of these big industrial ones we've been in. It was nice and very easy to get into town from the terminal. Yeah.
And it was a rainy day. Yeah. There's just no other way to say it. It was very rainy today, but I've got my rain pants on, we've got our raincoat, and we're just going to make the best of it.
That's right. And that's where you have to, when you're on a world tour like this, you have to be ready for these kind of things. We've been so blessed in the weather that we've had overall.
We really have been fortunate.
And we've only had a couple ports where we've had some bad weather, and today's going to be one of those, so we're just going to gear up and go out and make the best of it.
Right.
Well, we started out heading out on the bus, and you saw something you've been waiting to see for a long time.
The cherry blossoms were at their peak. Now, unfortunately, the sun wasn't shining, but as we're driving by, the trees just were in all their glory. As you could see up the mountainside, unfortunately, you'd see big patches of kind of white and gray. I mean, I knew those were cherry blossom trees, but they would have just been spectacular if the sun would have been shining. But the ones that were up close were just fabulous.
But the bus took us to the Youngdusan Temple, and that was our first stop. And there they had lines and rows of cherry trees.
They
and
did.
So it was very beautiful to see.
And that was a beautiful place. There was so much sculpture and artwork there, and a big golden Buddha statue, and but the lanterns were beautiful.
Yeah, they had a whole courtyard area just covered in lanterns.
Just rows and rows of lanterns that just, on a rainy day, it looked so pretty.
Yeah, it was really good. We saw, them going through some of the rituals and things that that the Buddhist monks there were going through their process and their rituals. And so it was really nice to see. Now, one thing you noted is there are a lot of steps here.
There are. So be prepared for that, friends. If this is a place you decide to go, just know that there are a lot of stairs that you have to take.
Yeah, but it takes you out to, it's on the seashore, so you see the waves crashing in the rocks, and there are actually some very nice paths that you can take to walk along the shoreline. But again, it was so rainy and so dreary that it really wasn't a good day just to be out and walking like that. But we did get some good pictures, and you can even see with with the rain, it was a nice stop, seeing all the different smaller side temples and the different buildings. But yeah, I enjoyed that stop a lot. It was one of our first real temple stops.
Right. It gave us a real taste of Asia.
Yes, it did. Yeah. And speaking of a taste of Asia.
Oh, so before we got on the bus, you're on your hot dog quest.
That's right. So, there was a small set of shops right there near the parking area where our bus was at that we got back on. And they had specifically a Korean hot dog vendor there. And that was one of the top 10 lists of hot dogs around the world, was a Korean corn dog. Yes. And so I picked one up, took it back to the bus with us, and Nancy and I both got to try it on the bus. And what'd you think?
It didn't disappoint. No, actually, I even told you this is the best hot dog we have had on the world cruise so far. It was really that good.
Yes, I agree too. The coating was very light, not greasy at all. The hot dog was really high quality, snapped in your mouth. It was no no toppings or condiments on it at all, and it was really good. So, 2 thumbs up to South Korea. Your corn dog really does excel. So,
Yes.
next time if anybody here's in South Korea, do not miss getting a South Korean corn dog.
Right.
It was very good. We got back on the bus with our corn dog and enjoyed it, and then we headed off to Dongbaksum Island. And so this is a small island in the bay of Busan here. And the reason this island is so important is in 2005, Busan won the bid to host the APEC Summit, which is the Asia Pacific Leadership Summit. And they built this one building, they call it the APEC House, specifically for this set of meetings. And it is a gorgeous piece of architecture.
It really is.
Right there on the seashore. Really nice. We got to go inside and see where they held the APEC meeting and, walk around. That was very interesting.
Yeah.
And
you weren't sure if you would like this part of the tour very
Right.
much, but we did. We enjoyed this.
Yeah, I
as well.
thought,
it was a good place to see.
It's like in my life in the corporate world, I went to so many meetings. So I don't need to see a meeting room, but it was the architecture of the building and the setting on the island was just gorgeous. So it was really kind of nice to see. But then we got a bonus in there.
You got to experience something.
So again, being in Asia, this was the first time we experienced even though we're in South Korea, we'll call it a Japanese style toilet that has a huge multifunction panel. It has the built-in bidet. It has a heated seat. It has everything to it, and it was right there at the meeting room. So that's probably the toilet the people in the meeting of APEC Summit in 2005 would have used. But using all those different features on that toilet, again, we're here on our Ultimate World Cruise to experience everything, and that toilet really was interesting. We're so used to our style in the United States that trying something out different, it actually was really, really. Go ahead.
Fritz, he comes out of the bathroom and he's like, Nancy, I got to use the glorious toilet. The glorious toilet. So our joke throughout Asia has been, was it a glorious toilet?
And so we're actually thinking this style of toilet, maybe even installing one in our house, because we want to bring the best of the world back with us.
They're
and
quite nice.
Yeah, this toilet was pretty good. I think we've talked about enough toilets
yeah, let's
now.
move on.
But thank you, George W. Bush, for letting me share the toilet you would have used in 2005 with me. So, but yeah, we then continued outside the APEC House and we walked around the area. The path continued. It was a couple kilometer walk around the island, and they had a beautiful statue of a mermaid, a lighthouse. They had all kinds of different things to see. And then we circled back around from there and we went out, and it was time for lunch at that point.
It was. So we were taken to a very nice Korean barbecue restaurant, and that's where they're cooking the pork belly right there at your table, or there's like a hot plate there on your table, and they would cook it with, there's onions and garlic, and they had little sides of things like kimchi and all the spices, and you kind of make that pork belly into what I would call a lettuce wrap, because they had leaves of lettuce, and you'd add the pork would be cooked, and you'd add all the kimchi and all the other spices and things.
Yeah.
Yes, all to that, and it was yummy. It
Yeah.
was good. It
Very
was
well
quite
cooked.
delicious.
It was just really well done. It was a good experience, and the food was very, very well done. So I've had Korean barbecue in the United States, and it was nothing like this. Really having Korean barbecue in Busan, South Korea was a great experience, and I would recommend it to anybody that makes it here.
I would too.
Yeah, don't miss that. Well, after our wonderful Korean barbecue lunch, we went out to the Diamond Tower. It's a very famous tower in Busan, and it's part of, what's the name of the park?
Youngdusan Park.
Youngdusan Park, that's right, yeah.
But we didn't go up the tower again. Remember, friends, it's cloudy, rainy, dreary. We wouldn't have really been able to see very much.
But hey, there's always shopping.
There was There was a duty-free shop there, and so
At the base of the tower,
we
yeah.
didn't get anything.
No, we just walked
but
through
you
real
could
quick.
walk around there. There was also a dragon sculpture was there.
Well, that
And
was
there's a
really
big
part of the
piece-
park.
Yeah, well, there
Yeah.
was, and so we did get to walk around the park a little bit. Quite a massive peace bell.
And that was
there.
really impressive inside the structure and everything. But again, it's kind of raining, so we limited how much time we were outside. And by now, even with all the rain gear and everything, we're starting to get a little bit cold. But
Yes.
but yeah, we saw the park was very nice at the tower. And if it was a sunny day, the Diamond Tower would actually be a nice thing to go up and see. It just didn't do us any good to do that in the rain and clouds and everything.
Yeah, I just
So
think how spectacular those cherry blossoms would have been if we could have.
it would have been. It would have.
Woulda,
Woulda, coulda. Right.
Woulda, coulda, right.
Right. Exactly. Well, then we headed off to a fish market.
We did, and this was interesting. It was really almost two fish markets. There
Well,
was
it was,
a dry,
yeah.
dried fish market and then a live
Fresh fish.
fresh fish market. And so that was quite fascinating. As we walked through the dried fish market, we got to sample some of the different things. They eat a lot of dried squid, almost in the same way that we would eat potato chips.
Or popcorn at a
Yeah, or
movie, yeah. They just sit and pop some dried squid in it. So we got to try some of the different dried squids. It was okay. You know, a little fishy for my taste, a little salty, but I can
it
see.
tasted good.
Yeah, I can see where they would snack on that. Probably a lot healthier than potato chips or popcorn. But
Right.
yeah, it's that whole market. It was amazing. There was booth after booth, just huge market, all dried fish, every kind of fish that you can think of. And then going over to what is we were told is one of the largest fish markets in South Korea. The live fish market was. Oh my God! They had everything.
Oh,
everything.
they did. I mean, I can't imagine what other kinds of fish there would be, but
Yeah,
yes,
I never
there
heard
was
of a
so much
sea
there.
squirt. They had these things called sea squirts that are particular for this area. They're awfully ugly things, but anything you can think of fish related was in there. Again, it was awfully rainy. There was an indoor and an outdoor portion of that market. The outdoor, they had lines of umbrellas covering things up. Now, for the fish market, something you can do here that we didn't really have time to do, plus we'd already had lunch, you can actually pick and select your own fish, and on the second
Yes.
floor of the fish market there are restaurants up there that then will cook that fish for you. So that would be
That'd
a
be
really
fun.
great
That'd
experience.
be a treat if
But-
you had the opportunity
but
to
we
do
just
that.
had Korean pork belly barbecue, so but yeah, take a look at that. Don't be intimidated by it. Just look at talk to the fishmongers there, and they can help you out and direct you to get your fish up to the restaurant. And there's a very minimal fee. I think it's like $5 maybe for the restaurant to cook your fish after you've bought it. So it's
That would
a
be a
really
neat
good
experience.
a good experience
Yeah.
there. Well, then after the fish market, we went to a kind of just a standard outdoor market that we walked through, but that's where we had one of our favorite things that we've eaten.
Oh my goodness. It's called Hotteok. Now let me describe Hotteok to you because I have never had it before. It's a pancake that's cooked and then fried, and it's going to be thicker than your regular pancake. They fry it. Then they kind of turn it on its side, and they take scissors and cut the top. So now your pancake opens up like pita bread would. And they stuff the inside of this pancake with brown sugar, cinnamon, nuts,
Walnuts, big thing,
seeds,
yeah.
like
Seeds,
sunflower
yeah.
seeds, and that was so.
And the funny thing is,
good.
then they shove it in like a Dixie cup, and
To eat.
and to carry.
But
Yeah.
it was truly decadent. So if you go to South Korea, do not miss the Hotteok.
Yes, you have to get Hotteok.
Yes.
So yeah, and there's a couple different styles. You'll see we have Hotteok again in another stop coming up. This one was better. This one in
was the
Busan,
best.
and
This was
we understand that Hotteok originated right here in Busan. In fact, in this market area that we're in. So this is really the place to get it. So don't miss the Hotteok in Busan.
Yes.
I can't agree with you enough. It was
It's
excellent.
good.
Yeah, as we eat our way around the world. Well, Nancy, after that we wrapped up the market and started heading back to the ship, all soggy and wet and cold. And so we actually went, changed into our swimsuits, got our robes on, and we went and hit the sauna just to absorb some heat.
We did. Now, friends, you may or may not know this, but for those of you that don't, Royal Caribbean saunas are free of of charge for all their guests. They have a dry sauna and a wet sauna, and those you can use. Now they have additional items. This is in the spa area, like their thermal spas and other amenities that are at an additional charge. But anyone can use the wet and dry saunas, and they are there's saunas for the men and for the women. They do separate you.
Yep. So check on your individual cruise ship. Not all cruise ships have the saunas, and then also just ask them in the spa, because it's not obvious where you go back to them, even though they're free and included. If you just ask them in the spa, they'll tell you, do they have wet or dry saunas, and are they complimentary? But especially on this class of ship, it's they're great to use when you've had a really cold day and you just want to warm back up.
If you're on that Alaskan cruise, they're good to use there
They are.
too.
We've used them up in Alaska too. Yeah. So we finished up the day, and then we had dinner and went to the show.
Yep, we went to the Windjammer, and then the show was James Boostar. Boostar, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but he's
Boostar.
a comedian, juggler, and he was fun
High
to
energy,
watch.
high
Yes,
energy
he was.
and funny. I mean, he's walking on the chairs out in the audience, and he
Just
did a
fun
good
to
job.
watch,
He was
yeah.
fun to watch. Yeah. And then we needed to get some rest because
Tomorrow.
we're going to climb a volcano tomorrow.
are.
So be sure to watch for that, and to make sure you don't miss it. Be sure to, especially if you've liked this video, if it's been enjoyable for you and helpful, hit the like button, and then be sure to hit the subscribe so you don't miss any of our 9-month Ultimate World Cruise Adventure. Well, Nancy, Busan, South Korea, would you come back?
Well, okay. Honestly, I loved it. I don't know that I need to come back, but I certainly enjoyed it. I guess if we happened to be on another cruise in this part of the world and it stopped here, I'd be very happy. But I don't feel like I need to go out of my way to come back here again. Kind of a been there, done that. How do you feel?
Yeah, I agree. I think when we say, no, we don't necessarily want to come back here or need to come back here, this is in no way a reflection on the city itself. Busan was wonderful. The people were great. The food was great. So we don't have any complaints at all. It's a little bit like Nancy said, in this buffet of the world, as we're seeing more and more and more of the world, there's so many places that we're not getting a chance to really delve deep into, and that we want to come back to those. So we're having to get a little picky on where we want to come back and where we don't want to come back. So Busan, wonderful
People
city.
were nice.
Yep. If you're going there to tour, as you can see from this video, there's lots of great things to see. But I would agree with you. I think this is probably not one that's like, oh, we got to take a 14-hour flight to get back to see Busan. Right.
Agreed.
Yeah, I would agree.
All
right.
right.
Well, tune in next time for Jeju Island and our climb up the volcano. And we appreciate you for watching.
We'll see you soon. Have a beautiful day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.